Good morning. It is 9:32 and we are going to call this employment training panel meeting for August 25th, 2023 to action.
Good morning, everyone. We have a good show lined up for you today. I'm glad you all showed up. Some housekeeping stuff just to get out of the way before we start. Before we begin, if you're here in the auditorium, in order to avoid a persistent disruption of the proceedings, please do not stream via mobile device or connect to the platform, as it will interfere with our recording and sound system, and we will have to do this all over again. If you're attending the meeting in person, presenting or providing comment, please step up to the podium and speak clearly. If you are doing so, please use the raise hand feature from home via Zoom. Please use the raise hand feature to request to speak. Wait until your name is called, then unmute yourself so that you may speak. Please state your name, title, and organization you are presenting, and there will be a 3-minute limit per speaker. I'll turn this over to Desiree Burrier for a roll call, please.
Good morning, everyone. Rebecca Betancourt.
Present.
Chris Dombrowski.
Present.
Mike Hill.
Present.
Madison Hull. Ernesto Morales. Gretchen Newsom.
Present.
Rick Smile.
Present.
Douglas Tracy. Madam Chair, there are 6 members present. There is a quorum. Also present, Eric Shiners, Acting Executive Director, Peter Cooper, Assistant Director, Jaime Gutierrez, Chief Deputy Director, and Tara Armstrong, Deputy Director, CIO.
Thank you. I feel like we're a long way away from everyone today. I feel like you're a long way. We're not that scary, I promise. Okay, so what first action is the approval of the August panel meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted. The second motion to ask for is the approval of the July panel meetings. Does any member want to make any corrections to those meeting minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted. I'm going to pass over to the executive reports.
Thank you, Chair Betancourt. Good morning. Panel members, staff, applicants, and members of the public. Just a brief introduction today. Today's meeting presents 62 proposals totaling approximately $21.2 million. That includes 13 healthcare workforce advancement fund projects and 10 workforce literacy projects. It also includes 8 approved delegation orders totaling just over $300,000. If all the proposals presented today are approved, the remaining contracting capacity from the Employment Training Fund for this fiscal year will be approximately $73 million. To update you on 2 legislative things that have happened since we last met in July. First, we're very happy the governor signed Assembly Bill 1766, which amends several unemployment insurance code sections pertaining to ETP. Those changes will take effect January 1st of 2024. Second, something that's on our radar are amendments to the Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act. On August 14th, the Senate Bill 544 was amended to now require that a majority of governing body members be physically present for at least half of the body's meetings per year. That will last through 2025, and then effective January 1st of 2026, the requirement would sunset and only 1 member of the governing body would need to be physically present at the meeting location. So we will keep an eye on that and see how we have to do these meetings starting January 1st of next year. Another update, as you may recall, the panel approved changes to ETP's out-of-state competition regulation at the April panel meeting. Those have been approved by Labor Agency and will be filed with the Office of Administrative Law next week. OAL has 30 days to review our regulation package, and then when that is complete, there will be a 45-day public comment period. And hopefully at the end of that period, that process will be complete and we'll be able to file the final regulations and they will take effect. Finally, I want to remind our panel members that if a proposal is modified orally, please state the modification in the motion to approve the proposal. Staff finds this very helpful in preparing the contracts, and I find it very helpful when I review them for signature. So thank you. And I'll turn it over to our Assistant Director, Peter Cooper.
Good morning, panel members. I have a very quick update on the healthcare and literacy funds. So today you will see 13 healthcare projects, the Healthcare Workforce Advancement Fund, 13 projects worth $7.5 million to support 2,458 trainees. You will see 3 more coming to the September panel meeting. And regarding the literacy fund, today we have 10 projects worth $2.977 million to support 1,998 trainees. You'll see another project coming to the September panel. So at September, we should be wrapped up with these funds, and we will provide more details for you at that time about both of these programs. And with that, I'll turn it over to Tara for her report.
Good morning, panel chair, Tara Armstrong with our technology update. Couple of things I just want to share under our CaliForce system for ETP. We have 3 main changes that we've done since the last panel. The first one, we've added a message to remind our subcontractors when they're applying on behalf of an entity to make sure that they are going in the right path and not applying directly just for themselves. So we've added that piece so that we're aligning the accounts in the system correctly. The second one is the collection of occupations at the enrollment stage. So we've started collecting that so that we can be in compliance with our legislation and regulations. Also to allow us to measure the individuals that are enrolled and then trained. And then to also then provide the panel when we have repeat contractors to give you that data when they come back for a second or subsequent proposal. And my third item is the collection of occupation at final invoice. So that will start at the end of this month, coming up next week. And that will also allow us to start providing good measurement of the occupations that are being trained. And that's the end of my update. If you have any questions.
All right, good morning, panel members and stakeholders. Thank you once again for the opportunity to provide a summary of the Employment Training Panel's funding. Just one note before I start with the funding portion. Brief reminder, expansion and CC funds will expire at the end of this fiscal year 23-24, which means they expire June of 2024. At the January 2023 panel meeting, ETP announced that expansion contracts could extend their contract term beyond 24 months, but not to exceed March 30th of 2024. In order to assist in managing ETP's staff workload and meet the requirements of the expansion funds by the due date of June of 2024, we are requesting that any extension request be made as soon as possible, and again, not to exceed March 30th of 2024. Regarding the funding, as Interim Director Shiners stated, today's panel meeting is for approximately $21.2 million. That includes 8 approved delegation orders for a total of $326,485. Delegation orders are proposals that are capped at $75,000 and approved under the delegated authority of the director on a continuous flow basis. If all the proposals scheduled for this panel meeting are funded today, the panel will be approving 64 projects, including 1 critical proposal for $749,800. These proposals also include 13 healthcare workforce advancement fund projects for $7 million and 10 workforce literacy projects for $2.9 million. Regarding the demand, we have 123 applications in demand. 117 applications are currently with the regional offices in development. 24 applications are under review by the application and assessment unit, and 2 have been submitted, 2 submitted applications pending review. The estimated value of the 143 applications is currently at $28.3 million and breaks down as follows. $22.8 million in demand for single employer contracts, $147,245 in demand for small business, $1.8 million in demand for multiple employer contracts, 3.4 million in demand for apprenticeships. And currently there are 5 potential proposals for supporting ACT and biotechnology in demand for critical proposals. Regarding allocations, we are currently within our total allocation for the state fiscal year 23-24. That is the final portion of my report, and I have one action item related to the consent calendar. However, before I do proceed with the request on action, I do have an update regarding one of the proposals under consent. Tab 13, proposal ET 23-0347, Rivian LLC, was previously approved at the June panel. The reason it is back to this panel under consent is that the name for this proposal was changed from Rivian Automotive LLC to simply Rivian LLC. Since this is not yet an executed contract, we could not do an amendment to change the name and had to bring it back to panel for approval under the new name. One item to note is that Rivian LLC is, as the contracting entity, changed the NICS code as well and removed this proposal from being a priority industry, but this is still considered a critical proposal. With that, Madam Chair, I now request the panel members identify which proposals, if any, they would like to pull from today's consent calendar, and then a motion to approve the consent calendar with the exception and identity of those proposals being pulled, which will be heard individually and in order.
Thank you, Jaime. So does any panel member wish to pull items from consent? Gretchen?
Madam Chair, I wish to pull from consent tab 2, Central California Builders Exchange, and tab 6, Kern County Builders Exchange.
Anyone else? Rick, do we have one for you? Just checking.
Yeah, #5.
Number 5. And then I have 1, 3, 9, and 11. So if I hear it correctly, it's tab 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9, and 11 to remove from consent. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar minus tabs 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9, and 11?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion passes. I believe I'm handing it to you, Gretchen.
Yes, Policy Committee report. So our ETP Policy Committee met on August 8th in our first hybrid meeting with people attending both in person and via Zoom. A whole lot of you attended via Zoom, so thank you for that. There were 2 items on the agenda, a discussion item on out-of-state vendors, specifically training vendors, and ETP regulations allow for the use of an out-of-state vendor only in certain circumstances with justification and panel approval. In recent years, ETP has been more relaxed in this requirement, and as a result of this discussion at committee, as of January 1st, 2024, ETP will again be more closely following the regulatory requirement. The Cal E4 system and staff procedures are currently being updated to accommodate this. This will be applicable to new contracts only. The second topic was a discussion on record keeping rosters and learning management systems. This discussion helped to clear up some questions regarding these items, and no further discussions or updates were deemed necessary. And if anyone has any potential policy committee agenda items that they like to propose, please email them to Liz Testa, our ETP policy manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any panel members have questions? All right, I think we're handing it back to staff. I think we're going to healthcare now, aren't we? Healthcare? Correct, yeah, healthcare. Dana, is it you with healthcare next? Or whoever's on healthcare?
I'll start off with that. Panel members, please turn to tab 16, which is for Butte Glen Community College District. They are a repeat Met contractor requesting $749,000 to train 175 job creation trainees located statewide. Represented participating employers have provided union support letters, and here to answer any questions is Annie Rafferty, Director, and Alistair Ruffton, Manager.
All right, thank you. Good morning. My name's Annie Rafferty, and I'm the Director of Butte College, and just want to thank the panel for considering this application for our local healthcare providers. And we have our upskilling, and they've been long-term partners with us. And Low Medical and Oroville Hospital has a unit, which is Oroville Acute Center, and that is the unit that will be the primary use of this particular application. We had more demand than what the application presents itself. So we're looking forward to another successful project in partnership with the Employment Training Panel. Thank you.
Does the panel have any questions?
Yes. Annie, could you talk to me about, for certified nurse assistants, the first wage range is $17 to $20 an hour for approximately 90 of your trainees. How soon can they anticipate having their wages increase with completion of this training?
So when they start the training, they're actually at $19.32 an hour. So they're sitting right there on that edge between the ranges that are presented in the project. And if they accept the insurance from the company, it is one range. And then if they don't accept the insurance, it's at $20.79. It's $20 and some odd cents for the individual who doesn't accept the organization's healthcare package. So that's what they start at. And then the wages, as they continue to increase, progress with the company.
I can see that up to $26 an hour plus the healthcare. So thank you for that clarification that they're not starting off at $17 an hour.
That's correct. It was a range, and I was like, that's not what they're making. So, but it's how the application
Thank you.
presents itself. Thanks for the question.
No problems. Any further questions from the panel?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'm sorry, contract number ET 24-0189 in the amount of $749,000.
And I heard a second, correct?
Yes, correct.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right, up next is tab 17 for the Greater San Fernando Valley Chamber of Commerce. They are a repeat Met contractor requesting $749,808 for 381 retrainees located statewide. Representing participating employers indicated have provided union support letters. Present to answer any questions are Nancy Hoffman, CEO, and Barry Menzel, consultant.
Hi, thank you so much for having us here today. We're very excited that we'll be able to offer some healthcare training to a lot of our healthcare members and our community that were never eligible for ETP funds before. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Does the panel have any questions? I have one, and it's, as you look at this, there's a lot of specialized licensed training. Who are you using as your training vendors? Is there nothing listed currently, or the model you're using?
Well, I actually have 4 different training companies listed, which are medical schools that we've already arranged partnership with. And we've also met with the participating providers, and some of them have their own in-house training. And so we're going to be customizing it based on their needs.
Okay, thank you. Do any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the Greater San Fernando Valley Chamber of Commerce contract in an amount of $749,808.
Do I hear a second? Alrighty, so all those in favor say aye? Aye. All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you very much.
All right, up next is tab 18, which is for Murrieta Chamber of Commerce. They are repeat Met contractor requesting $749,808 for 381 retrainees located statewide. Present to answer any questions are Patrick Ellis, president, and Barry Menzel, consultant.
Good morning. Thank you. Similar to Nancy in the Greater San Fernando Valley Chamber, we work very closely together. We're very excited for this opportunity. Again, this opens up the opportunity for training for a whole group of individuals that we've never been able to work with before. So very, very excited about this.
Does the panel have any questions? I have one around your wages. The wages all seem the same across every single occupation almost? Is that because that truly is the wage ranges, or was it copy paste error on staff or in the application?
It may have been a copy paste error on our part. So I
Okay.
apologize for that.
So do we need that updated, please, for the contract?
So it looks, just what we see up here
Yeah.
as panel members is that the contract post-retention wage is established at $22.66 an hour. And then we can see that you're going to be using up to $2.50 per an hour to meet the post-retention wage. So then that's lowering your initial wage down to $20.16 an hour. So there are multiple different classifications that are listed as starting off at $20.16 an hour, and then ranging upwards to, generally speaking, $25 an hour.
Mhm.
So is there an effort to increase those wages further?
Yes, there is.
Can you elaborate, please?
Well, Barry might be able to elaborate. Yeah, there's a huge demand right now, so.
Please.
Yeah, certainly the nurses will start at a much higher wage.
When you describe a little bit more, please. When you say much higher, is it really 2016 an hour for nurses?
No, I
And
think that's
behave-
actually should have been like $30 an hour.
Okay. And for the emergency medical technicians, there's 35 of them starting off at 2016 an hour.
That for the EMTs, that's about where they start, but
Okay.
they progress very quickly. Once they get their first certification done, they automatically jump up to about 25. And we work with a lot of different service providers who then also provide their own training as well.
That's really excellent to hear, because later in panel, we're going to be considering another EMT related one, and the wages are much lower. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Do we want wages reflected to be updated in the panel packet?
Where applicable,
Yep.
yes.
So if we could ask for that. My only other question, it's a minute question. You list Kaiser Permanente. I don't see a union letter. Is this one of their few non-union jobs? I know they're very heavy on labor, so.
Yes, so we don't have a full facility in our region. We have just an MOB.
Okay, so they're one of their few non-union arms. Okay,
Right.
not a worry. All right, any further questions from the panel?
Just a clarification. I just want to make sure we're going to keep the wage at the $22.66 for the ETP minimum wage.
That is correct.
Perfect.
Yep.
Mhm. Okay, any further questions from the panel? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the Murrieta Chamber of Commerce contract in a ETP funding amount of $749,808.
Do I hear second? There we go. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, panel. Please turn to tab 19. This is a Healthcare Workforce Advancement Fund, HWAF, training proposal for JVS SoCal. There is a correction. JVS has retained Latimer Bertot of Bertot Associate Advisories to assist with the development of this project for a flat fee of $5,000. This happened kind of late in the process, so it wasn't reflected in the 130 document. This is a priority industry and a repeat contractor. Total ETP funding being requested for $622,630. And that's for an estimated number of trainees of 95 CNAs under Job 1, which are new hire medical skills with multiple barriers. This will be JVS SoCal's 9th ETP contract, and it's 6th in the last 5 years. And here today to answer any of your questions are Jody Doen, Director, Grants, Contracts, and Strategic Partnerships, and Latimer Bertot of Bertot Advisories.
Okay. Good morning, panel. I am, as the gentleman mentioned, I'm Jody Doan with JVS SoCal. We're located in Los Angeles County, and we serve high barrier folks and provide them with workforce development support services. Very excited to be here today to answer any questions you may have about our proposal. And with me today is Latimer Bertot, our consultant. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
So I note in your panel proposal that it says the proposed training will support training for an estimated 95 candidates earning certified nursing assistant certifications and placement into full-time jobs in nonprofit and public entity sector pursuant to our funding requirements. Are you providing those certifications to them, or are they having to seek those certifications outside of the training?
Based on the training that they complete with us, with our skilled training providers, they then sit for their CNA exam, they get their exam, and we provide CNA candidates to our employer partners.
Excellent. Okay. Talk to me a little bit about the wage range, please. Your first wage range listed for certified nursing assistants is $17 to $20 an hour for 60 of the individuals, the bulk of the trainees. How soon can they expect for their wages to progress and increase?
We expect a progression by the time they hit their 91st day of retention. We're seeing an average of 7 to 10% wage progression over the year, over the course of our history providing this program.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions from the panel?
Yeah, I just have a point of clarification, just for my understanding. Your average cost per trainee is $6,554 for 95 employees. And I notice among your peers, the range goes from about $1,000 per person all the way up to 8,000. So I'm wondering why the difference is. Maybe you could explain that. Does it limit the number of people you can train because of the amount of training that you do?
Thank you, Mr. Hill. There is no limit to the number of folks we can train based on the amount that it costs us to train, because we use public and private along with philanthropic dollars to make sure that we can train all those who come to us for assistance. So we don't have any barriers that we face based on a limited amount of dollars. The cost that we average out per trainee includes everything from our outreach to our engagement to supportive services that we provide while a trainee is in training so that they can get to training. So they have professional clothing, they have scrubs, they have a nurse's watch, they have a stethoscope, they have all the services, all of the supports that they would need to be successful on their first day. That also includes the professional trainers and the providers that we have, and then the 1 year of retention that we provide to all of our graduates.
Thank you.
Any further questions or discussion from the panel? Do I hear a motion for approval? So have we got any public comment? We've just realized we've missed public comment this morning. Any public comment on these last three? It's because you're all so far away from us this morning. It's like I feel like no comment. All right. So do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the JVS SoCal ETP contract and a ETP funding amount of $622,630.
Sorry.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, panel. Let's turn to tab 20. This is also a healthcare HWAF training proposal for Lao Family Community Development, Inc. There's also a correction due to the trainer-trainee ratio for preceptor training is 1-to-1 for this delivery method of medical skills, which was left out due to development oversight. So they're only requesting 1-to-1. And this is a priority industry, and it is not a repeat contractor. Total ETP funding being requested today is for $747,792 for an estimated number of trainees of 144 CNAs under job number 1, new hire medical skills training with multiple barriers. LFCD is a first-time MEC training agency, as I mentioned earlier, applicant, and has a long demonstrated history of recruiting employers to hire its graduates. And here today to answer your questions are Namatula, which I'm totally mispronouncing, but excuse me for that. Soltai, site manager, Su Dong, program manager, Mai Quach, director of programs, and Kathy Chow Rothberg, CEO.
Good morning, everyone. We're very happy to be here. I'm Kathy Chow Rothberg, and I have my team here, our Sacramento team, our Contra Costa team, as well as our Oakland team. This is our first time being here. We're really excited. We're an excellent organization, just like our colleagues, JVS, so you might be seeing us again in the future. We specialize in serving high barrier populations. So the groups that we're going to be focusing on for this proposal are going to be our refugees, so our Ukrainian and our Afghan and other refugees, our immigrant populations that means they're from South America, Central America, or from Mexico. We specialize in serving the reentry population, particularly the AB 109 population. We also specialize in serving the unhoused population and individuals who are homeless because of domestic violence. So if you think about a approval, if you do approve us, and we hope you do at $749,000, these individuals who are houseless or who are in CalWorks and dependent on public welfare, between the wages that they're going to earn and the savings to our state in benefits, in terms of welfare benefits, we calculated that it may be as much as $10 million leverage. Do you have any questions?
So does the panel have questions?
I just really appreciate the extra description. Thank you.
All right, any public comment on this proposal? Do I hear?
Motion to approve the Lao Family Community Development, Inc. ETP contract and a funding amount of $747,792.
Second.
Any further discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Good morning, panel members. Next, we have tab 21, a healthcare workforce advancement proposal from Edwards Medical Training Center, Inc. They are a first-time contractor requesting $237,134 to train 54 workers. Training will take place at Edward Medical's location in San Jose. Here representing Edward Medical Training Center to answer any questions are Frank Onu, CEO, Roseanne Onu, Vice President, Molly Uzo, Consultant, Wright Varsity Technologies, LLC.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Frank Onu. I'm the CEO of Edward Medical Training Center. We train all sorts of medical people. Our aim for today is for our MA program. That will enable us to advance and increase the number of people in the area because the demand is very high for us. So with this, myself and my panel, we are very well, we're happy to be here and hope that you will help us approve our demands for today. The number of people we train, and it's not enough for the demand we have in the area. So that's why we're asking for the money.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
Mr. Ono, for your medical assistant position, you start the wage range at $18.54 an hour, going up to $20 an hour. And then there's a second wage range for, I would assume, once they have advanced through the curriculum, at $20.60 an hour to $25 an hour. So for those 14 that are starting off in the lower wage range, would this training be able to provide them wage progression so then they can move to the next tier?
Yes, it will. It will provide them that. We start that low because some of them don't have experiences and they're coming out from high school, and we start them from there. And then as they progress, we move up.
Okay. Mr. Ono, you are also listed as a private post-secondary vocation school. I just want to make sure, and you're new to this contract, this will be your first one,
Yes.
just to have additional assurances that these trainees will never be charged any sort of tuition in order to
No.
complete their training.
Actually, that's why we're here, to make sure we don't charge them any more tuitions.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the panel? Is there a motion to approve this proposal? And do we need public comment? We've got it in a different order here. I'm going to show you. Any public comment? Eric's instructions are different. Any public comment? All right. So do we have a motion to approve this panel?
Motion to approve Edwards Medical Training Center, Inc., contract number ET 24-0194 in the amount of $237,134.
And do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, panel. Next, we have tab 22, a healthcare workforce advancement proposal from Shirley Ware Education Center. They are a repeat contractor requesting $749,708 to train 92 workers. Training will take place at the participating employers' work sites throughout California. Here representing Shirley Ware Education Center to answer any questions are Tyreek Scott, Development Director, Kelly Greer, Consultant, Strategy Workplace Communications.
Good morning, all. My name is Tariq Scott, Development Director with the Shirley Ware Education Center. I wanted to start by thanking the panel for considering our application. ETP funding has been an invaluable source of funding for our organization since our first contract in 2020. And we're really excited about the changes that you all have initiated through HWAF, as other applicants have stated. If granted, this contract would support trainees in 3 job titles that consistently appear on our list of high priority classifications with our labor and management partners, including Kaiser Permanente, Dignity Health, and SEIU UHW. In 2022 alone, we supported 633 licensed vocational nurses, 205 surgical technologists, and 128 respiratory care professionals. I cite these numbers not to brag about the accomplishments of our team, but to really highlight the demand for such trainings. Each of these roles offer family-sustaining wages and place our trainees into clinical career lattices that offer additional opportunities for skill development and further wage progression. Again, I was really pleased to see some of the changes that the panel has initiated with HWAF funding, as it'll really expand the number of eligible employers and trainees that we can support through this funding. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
More of a statement that I really appreciate the high wages that you've listed here, ranging between $29.81 an hour up to $52.04 an hour. Thank you.
I have one question around, you have some very good numbers on completions and where you're going with tracking. I'm looking at your current funds that are open at the moment with ourselves. You are a contract that's expiring at the end of this year, currently sitting at 60% tracking. Can you give us some background of how you plan to make sure you are at 100% by the end of the year? It just worries me. We're in end of August and we're only at 60%.
Yes, we actually have updated numbers for that contract. As of this week, we have 18,672 hours loaded into CaliForce for 79% performance. I'm working diligently with my team and with Kelly, my colleague, to ensure that we are leaving no stone unturned to get to 100% performance.
Fantastic. That's what we like to hear. And then my last one is, you are looking statewide. We're giving money in lots of different regions. Last month, we saw a lot into one region. You have some of those similar employers in that region on here. How are you ensuring you're not, I'm going to say, stepping on the local toes, but also ensuring that you will meet completion? Because there is a lot of overlap with employers in regions that we've already seen.
Sure. We communicate consistently with our Board of Trustees. That's equal parts labor and management to inform our partners of all of our funding. ETP is no exception. To make sure that we are not double dipping or using the funding inappropriately. So transparent communication on a consistent basis.
Fantastic. Thank you. Are there any other further questions from the panel? Any public comments?
Motion to approve Shirley Ware Education Center contract number ET 24-0191 in the amount of $749,708.
Do I hear a second? Second. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you, panel. Next, we have tab 23, a healthcare workforce advancement proposal from the Workforce Development Board of Contra Costa, doing business as WDBCCC. They are a repeat contractor requesting $741,040 to train 120 trainees. Training will take place at WDBCCC's training facility in Richmond at the participating employers' work sites in Alameda and Contra Costa County. Here representing WDBCCC to answer any questions is Jed Silver, Program Manager.
Good morning, panel members. Thank you for having me here to present this proposal and for you to hear this morning. Again, my name is Jed Silver. I'm with the Workforce Development Board of Contra Costa County. This is really an ask for a piece of the puzzle for our greater health initiative. Our health initiative is based around getting underrepresented people of color, veterans, formerly incarcerated into lucrative high-wage health careers. That's really what it's about. And how do we do that? Well, what we do first is that we directly do targeted recruitment through CBOs to our target population. So we go to where they are. That's how we get them in. Once they're there, how do we get them through? This includes enhanced support services that include financial assistance as well as academic assistance. That's in the form of stipends, completion bonuses, academic tutoring, exam prep. That's how we get them through. Then once they're done, how do we get them into the jobs? It's about direct job placement. Once these people are able to sacrifice for these couple months to get through these training programs, they need to go directly into jobs, not into start waiting game and be into application mode. So we have the employers right on board for them to do direct job placement. After that, that's into the entry level. Then how do we get them to advance, right? So advancement after the entry level to further their careers is another part of this health initiative. Well, the last thing is, how do we pay for all that, right? And it's very easy to say, give them all stipends, give them all tutoring, help them with exam prep, right? Well, that's really easy to say. How do you pay for all that? So really what this program, what our initiative is about is leveraging and braiding funds. So this is a piece of the puzzle. Let me be very clear. In order to pay for all those things that we've proven to have success with, we've had EMT programs on our last our last ETP program, 100% people of color from underserved communities. And the second they were done with jobs, the AMR walked in with tablets and hired them on the spot on their last day of class for $22 an hour, and now advancing on to become paramedics. So that's the model. And that can only be done with multiple funding streams. And so in order to support this initiative, we have a WAF grant, a Workforce Accelerator grant, an apprenticeship grant from the Division of Apprenticeship Standards. We have a high-risk training partnership grant. We just received a second. And we had our first ETP program that was very successful. And now we're here for our second. And this new, last time was a core project, and we were very successful in it. This new healthcare workforce advancement initiative is extremely helpful because it's going to help us support our nonprofit community clinics. That includes La Clinica de la Raza, Native American Health Center, West Oakland Health Center, Asian Health Center, right? These are the most in need of these training resources, and they serve our most vulnerable population in terms of health. So it's not only an economic equity issue, it's a health equity. And so we're very excited about this new program that you have, and I'm here to answer any questions that you have. And again, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
For job number one, you list this wage range for EMTs at $23 to $25 an hour. For job number two, under new hire, you list EMT starting wage range of $19 to $20 an hour for 10 of those individuals, who hopefully would progress up to the next tier of $20 and a penny to $22 an hour. I'd like to see you move those 10 to starting off in that second wage range.
I got a better answer for you, Ms. Newsom.
Oh,
actually, this application was written in February. Since then, AFSCME has AFSCME and the participating employers have done a new collective bargaining agreement that pops it over that wage range you were just talking about. I believe it's we have multiple regions. We're scaling our program from I'm Contra Costa County, but we're scaling this to involve the Richmond Workforce Board, the Alameda County Workforce Board, and the Oakland Workforce Board. So it's hard to say one range because it encapsulates, but all of the ranges collectively bargained are over that threshold you just spoke of. And the only reason why it's not reflected in this proposal is because it was written in February.
Perfect. So I would be supportive of this proposal if we can have staff update those new wage ranges to the higher amount. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the panel? Any public comments? Do I hear a motion to approve this proposal?
Motion to approve the Workforce Development Board of Contra Costa County, DBA WDBCCC in an ETP funding amount of $741,040 with the new wages intact.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Panel members, I had a clarification on the post-retention wage for job number 2. Do you want to remain at 1966 or would you like that number changed?
I like that number changed, please.
Okay, thank you. What What amount would you like that changed to?
I think we just heard they've just had a new CBA come in with new higher wages for that one. So I think to reflect the wages that are in that new CBA.
Could we do the same wage, post-retention wage that you've listed in job number 1, which is $23.59 an hour, and then you'd still get to use the healthcare benefit to meet that?
I think I follow you. I have no problem with that. I would refer specifically to the collective bargaining agreement that was struck for those wages. They do differ per region. So I would just rely back
caveat.
on the past, the collective bargaining agreement that was struck.
$23.59 an hour with the understanding that the CBA presides.
Thank you.
Good morning, panel members. I'm here today presenting the proposals developed in the San Diego Regional Office. If you will please turn to tab number 24, A Place Called Home. This would be A Place Called Home's first ETP contract. A Place Called Home is requesting $96,600 in total ETP funding. They plan to train a total of 21 retrainees in 1 job number. A Place Called Home is located in Los Angeles City District 9, encompassing a large portion of South Los Angeles. With the assistance of ETP funds, the proposed training will provide staff with the necessary skills and knowledge to continue to provide services to youth in the program, and the new skills obtained via training will help the social workers and healthcare aides better assist the children under their care, improving the lives of the youth in the process. Here today representing A Place Called Home and ready to address questions from the panel is Denise Clavacilla, Director, Human Resources.
Thank you. Good morning, members and Chairperson Betancourt. We are really honored to be here today to request funding for A Place Called Home. We are in South Central Los Angeles, District 9, and we hope to partner with ETP this year to bring much needed professional training and development to our team of over 80 staff members. However, for this contract, it is 21 staff members that are involved in the healthcare arena. The majority of our staff are people of color, and 1/3 come from our community, meaning that the ETP funds would also be an investment in our community and workforce in South Central Los Angeles. A Place Called Home has been in place for 30 years, serving South Central community by inspiring, encouraging, supporting the young people in South Los Angeles. And at APCH, we envision the world where zip code does not determine your future and where all children have the opportunity to find happiness and success in life. I welcome any questions.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions? Is there any public comment? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve A Place Called Home and an ETP funding amount, $96,600.
Second, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you so much.
If you will please turn to tab number 25, Henry Mayle Newhall Memorial Hospital. This would be Henry Mayle's first ETP contract. Henry Mayle is requesting $499,100 in total ETP funding. They plan to train a total of 301 retrainees over 2 job numbers. Henry Mayle is located in the heart of the Santa Clarita Valley in the county of Los Angeles, servicing a diverse area that reaches rural areas such as Acton and Agua Dulce. This project will allow Henry Mayle to further its efforts towards retention of healthcare professionals, particularly entry-level professionals, addressing the workforce shortages. In addition, the training will provide opportunities to upskill the healthcare workforce and increase availability of meaningful careers in the region. Here today, representing Henry Mayle, ready to address questions from the panel, is Joe Green, Director, Staff Development and Education, and Michelle Rickner, Consultant.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the panel. I am Joe Green, Director of Staff Development and Education at Henry Mayle Hospital, which is a standalone community hospital and the only hospital in a growing city of 400,000 people. I'd like to thank Skylar and Kellen from the San Diego field office for their invaluable assistance in preparing this proposal, the first time we've ever made any such proposal. This ETP funding will allow us to provide critical medical skills. COVID changed the healthcare profession. We lost so many nurses, and this funding will allow us to train PCAs and give them a career path from bedside to a professional license as a registered nurse. Many of the people that we hire now as new grad nurses are nurses that began as PCAs at Henry Mayo. This training will ultimately help by helping us to increase retention, will improve our patient safety, and will increase morale of our staff, which really suffered during the COVID pandemic. Additionally, we anticipate being able to fill some of the needs that we'll have over the coming years, as many as 250 to 500 openings among all professions within our organization. I want to thank the panel for considering our proposal for these funds. They'll allow us to hire new employees, to meet our growing patient needs, and to meet the needs of our community, which is growing as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Does the panel have questions?
Sir, I have an interest in inquiry. If you would be comfortable in moving the wages listed under job number 2, job creation for the patient care associate or the CNA, with a current range of $18 an hour up to $25 an hour to match the same wage range that's listed in job number 1 of $20.16 an hour up to $25.
So this proposal was prepared before we had a collective bargaining agreement with the union that represents our staff.
CNA.
And so we are currently under in the middle of that contract. That collective bargaining agreement does provide for a 4% increase the first year, 3% increase in 2 subsequent years. But I would be happy to adjust it to the
So
collective
you're saying that
bargaining agreement.
the wages will be higher than job number 2? at least.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I love learning new things, especially about unions too. And I've never heard of the United Electrical Radio and Machine Workers of America. But thank you for including them. I had to look them up.
I had to do a second. Of
Yeah,
like,
I was, who is this? Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Do we have any further questions from the panel? Any public comment?
Motion to approve the Henry Mayo Newell Memorial Hospital and ETP funding amount of $499,100.
And do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you so much.
Panel members, tab number 26, St. Joseph Health Northern California LLC has withdrawn from the August panel meeting.
Alrighty, next we have tab 27, a healthcare workforce advancement proposal from Chinese Hospital Association. They are a first-time contractor requesting $101,384 to train 116 workers. Training will take place at Chinese Hospital's location in San Francisco. Here representing Chinese Hospital, answer any questions is Michael Chung, CFO.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me to this opportunity. Chinese Hospital has been serving the San Francisco Chinatown residents for more than 124 years. Originally, they were built as a dispensary back in 1899, primarily serving the overseas worker coming to San Francisco doing the gold rush and also the Sacramento Delta River project. The building was destroyed in the 1906 fire, and then the community actually put up the money and rebuilt the hospital. So we founded Chinese Hospital Association in 1923 and been in existence since till now. Right now, we actually, during pandemic, we expanded our services to create a new skilled nursing facility unit. With the funding, we'll be able to retain, retrain, and also provide the career advancement for various technicians that listed on the job categories. One of the biggest one is the majority of the funding will go to training the RNs to a different skill set, from the med-surg to tele to ICU, And also from the radiology side of things, you have the radiology tech, then you can migrate into ultrasound tech, MRI tech, nuclear med tech, with additional modality that they will be able to gain and certify. So with the funding, it'll help us greatly. And thank you for the opportunity. Any questions?
Yep. So does the panel have any questions?
Great wages.
No, say that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I hear no questions from the panel. Is there any public comments? Is there a motion to approve this proposal?
Motion to approve Chinese Hospital Association contract number ET 24-0207 in the amount of $101. $101,384.
Thank you.
And do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Tab 28 is a healthcare workforce advancement proposal from Dameron Hospital Association. They are a first-time contractor requesting $499,560 to train 120 workers. Training will take place at Dameron Hospital's location in Stockton. Here representing Dameron Hospital to answer any questions is Melissa Black, Director of Education and Training, Latimer Batat, Consultant, Batat Advisories.
Good morning and thank you. My name is Melissa Black and I'm Director of Education and Training at Dameron Hospital. Dameron Hospital is a not-for-profit community hospital with over 200 beds serving the city of Stockton and the local surrounding San Joaquin County areas. With me today is our consultant, Latimer Batat. We are coming to you for the first time for our proposal for funding related to our nurse residency program. Each year, Dameron Hospital hires and trains over 50 new graduate nurses. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for your time.
Does the panel have any questions?
More great wages.
Any public comment? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Dameron Hospital Association and ETP funding amount of $499,560.
And
Second.
thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tab 29, a proposal for Kauai Delta Healthcare District Guild DBA Kauai Health has been pulled from this panel and will attend a future panel meeting.
Panel members, please turn to tab 30, which will be our first literacy funded project of the day. It's for El
Just
Camino
one moment,
Community
Ryan.
College.
I think we may have a,
Mr. Spire, I have an interesting motion to make. In the importance of time and getting through this meeting quickly and the rest of the panel proposals, I'd like to make a motion to approve tabs 30 through 39.
Second.
Yep. So we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you. You're all going to do wonderful things
With literacy.
with
Mhm.
literacy.
Yep. So now we're going to come back to those that were pulled from consent before we go to the remaining single employer contracts. So starting with, I believe, tab 1.
Yes, panel members, tab 1, Brothers International Desserts, DBA Brothers Desserts has withdrawn from the August panel meeting.
Up next is tab 2. Does anybody need to recuse themselves?
I thought we had tab 1 first. Oh, they recused. I'm miles away. No one has to recuse for tab 2.
Okay, perfect. Tab 2 is for Central California Builders Exchange. They are a repeat contractor requesting $197,074 for 214 retrainees located in Central California. Present to answer any questions is Tracy Taylor, manager.
Hi, I'm Tracy Taylor. I'm from the Central California Builders Exchange. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today and request funding for our contract.
Thank you. Do any panel members have any questions?
I do have a few questions, Ms. Taylor. You list under your occupation title a frontline construction worker. I'm not familiar with that term.
Because we're the construction industry, there's so many of the entry-level workers that we grouped it all together instead of listing them individually. But it's mostly laborers, field workers, all the entry-level workers.
Okay, and what is your connection to having those folks admitted into apprenticeship programs so that they can continue their career path?
I don't
And
understand the question.
become journey level construction workers in their craft.
Yes, so we do all kinds of training across the board, things that help them to progress in their job and then move forward with some skills and some training so that they can get into like the journeyman and the higher level.
Okay, so what is Builders Exchange doing to connect those workers into an apprenticeship program, if anything, for additional training?
I don't know that we're doing anything.
Okay. It also states, upon completion of training, trainees will have the opportunity to earn industry recognized certifications.
Yes.
Are you providing those certifications?
We are, yes.
Okay, and what certifications would those be?
So it would be like forklift training, fall protection, OSHA 30, OSHA 10, HAZWOPER.
Okay.
Confined space, those type of certifications.
Those certifications, okay. There's a level of uncomfortableness with myself with how the proposal is presented, where it's requesting 3 different wage degressions, not progressions. Where I'm looking under special employment training, and it states trainees in job number 1 are employed in a priority industry, construction, and the panel may modify the wage up to 25% below the statewide average wage from $41.20 down to $30.90 an hour. Then it states further that those that are employed in high unemployment areas, the panel may modify the ETP standard minimum wage up to 25%, again, if post-retention wages exceed the start of training wages. So the wage modification that's being requested is going from $41.20 an hour down to, and there's another additional wage modification down to $17 an hour. That does not sit well with me in the construction industry. I've taken a look at the prevailing wages for this county and the counties that you're representing, and then also a subsequent applicant. I would be much more comfortable with this proposal by approving one of your wage modifications, not all 3 going boom, 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 down, 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 and setting the reduced wage to $22.66 an hour rather
Would
than
that be
$17.
with benefits?
You can use up to $2.50 in order to meet that wage.
Okay. Just to clarify, so this is our second contract, and we were not a high unemployment area when we did our first contract, and the wage was, I believe, like $24 an hour. And a lot of our training excluded some of the workers because they didn't meet the wage criteria, which is why we lowered it this time and have it down so low, because we didn't want to exclude those workers, because once they complete a HAZWOPER 40, and then they are eligible to work on all those like the fires and the things like that. So they have a higher opportunity once they complete the training.
Which many of those different jobs may be paying prevailing wages as well.
Once they have the certification, yes, absolutely.
I am still uncomfortable at the low wage range of 17. I need to see it moved up to 22.66.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the panel? Any public comments? Do I hear a motion for approval?
Motion to approve the Central California Builders Exchange ETP contract in an amount of $197,074 with a post-retention wage of $22.66 an hour.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you.
If you would please turn to tab number 3. East County Economic Development Council. This would be East County EDC's second ETP contract. East County EDC is requesting $118,080 in total ETP funding. They plan to train a total of 100 retrainees in one job number. East County EDC's headquarters is in El Cajon, California, promotes business activity in the cities of El Cajon, La Mesa, Lemon Grove, Santee, and San Diego's East County unincorporated areas. This training project will focus on helping employers keep up with evolving processes and provide the necessary business computer skills training needed to stay in business. East County EDC's prior project earned $18,279, which was 8% of their awarded funding amount. Here today representing East County EDC, ready to address questions from the panel, is James Sly, President and CEO.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay? Try to not get too close to the mic. Yeah, Kellen, as you mentioned, my name is James Sly, and I am the President and CEO of San Diego's East County Economic Development Council. Like the name implies, we primarily focus on the eastern part of San Diego County, which is both the largest sub-region part of the county, and it also includes many of the poorest and lowest income communities. So we serve those communities by serving as the bridge between education, industry, workforce, and many of our government partners. We will celebrate our 40th anniversary next year, and in that time, we've brought in more than $100 million of both private capital and various government projects through GoBiz, the Department of Defense, almost every federal agency you can imagine, many partners throughout the city and the county of San Diego. And for this project, we've been working with our manufacturers in East County to try to hone in on where their greatest needs lie. And so if you look at our training curriculum, you'll see some entry-level offerings around OSHA, around forklift certifications. You'll see some more mid-tier offerings around process improvement and warehouse management. And you'll see some more senior-level curriculum around Lean Six Sigma and lean manufacturing. So our hope is that we'll be able to serve our manufacturing partners. We would consider ourselves experts in the manufacturing field. We work with them very consistently, and they are a massive priority for us. We consider them one of the primary industries in East County and it's the larger San Diego area. And our hope is to continue to bolster that manufacturing community and allow us to build things here locally. Like Kellen mentioned, this is our second kind of swing at the ball for ETP. As you can all imagine, our first contract was awarded in December of 2019 to provide hands-on manufacturing training. And in March, when everything shut down, as you can imagine, it was very difficult to provide manufacturing training when all the manufacturing plants were shut down. It wasn't a computer-based learning. They were actually using machines, milling, using lathes, using CNC machines. All of that was obviously shut down as part of the pandemic. So through this current evolution of our contract, we will be looking at doing a combination of mostly in-house training provided by the in-house training experts maintained at each company. And we are also focusing on incumbent worker training as opposed to new hires. So with that, hopefully 30-second highlight reel overview. I'll open myself to any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions? I just have a look at your curriculum and the way that you were speaking there about the curriculum. The list seems quite sparse in very much like we're just going for a overarching rather than proper kind of like training plan of what these individuals do. Manufacturing training is very close to my heart. So when I look at these, I'm like lean manufacturing, and you said we're just going to do lean manufacturing. My guess is there's multiple modules in there or multiple different courses that you're looking at. I think I would just ask to flesh out your curriculum slightly so it's not just one bucket, because your rosters are going to have to reflect that as well as they come in. So just being aware of those pieces. And your computer-based training, is the only computer-based training going to be OSHA 10?
Most likely, there is a chance that we'll do a little bit of cybersecurity related training. I should have mentioned that our office also operates the Small Business Development Center for our part of San Diego County. And as part of that, we are the cybersecurity experts for San Diego and Imperial Valley. And so we have staff in person who will probably be able to provide that training. But we're working with the employers to ensure that it meets their needs and to make sure that they have both the curriculum and the training methodology they need to get through that. So
I think I would just ask that we could update that curriculum list a bit more, just beef it up a bit more of what the actual curriculum is to be delivered rather than just these very, very high level. That would be fantastic for me.
Absolutely. Thank you for the feedback.
Any other questions from the panel? Any public comment? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the East County Economic Development Council in an ETP funding amount of $118,080.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Panel members, please turn to tab 5 for Herman Weissker.
Hang on, you got to.
Rick's got to They are a repeat contractor requesting $322,000 in funding dollars for 300 retrainees and 100 job creation trainees located throughout Southern and Central California. Present to answer any questions are Jay Turner, Supervisor, Mitchell Mills, Director, and Lisa Douglas, Consultant.
Good morning, Mitchell Mills, Senior Safety Director for HWI. I hope to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions? No. Is there any public comment? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve Herman Weissker. Did I do that right? I might so, but you know what I mean. 322,000. That is the motion.
Do I hear a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just for the recording, in case it didn't pick up, Member Smiles recused from this matter.
Will Member Smiles be coming back for the next one? Good, thank you.
He should be. You never know.
So.
He might have disappeared for a bit, you know?
Maybe he had an early
We
flight.
can't control him. We try.
All right, tab 6 is for Kern County Builders Exchange Incorporated. They are a repeat contractor requesting $197,074 in funding dollars for 211 retrainees located in Central California. Present to answer any questions is Milken Plummer, Executive Director.
Good morning. My name is Mike Plummer. I'm the Executive Director of the Kern County Builders Exchange, and it was a pleasure to be able to have our program before, and thank you for your consideration again.
Thank you.
I'm here to answer any questions you need.
Thank you. Does the panel have questions?
The exact same level of question / statement as was previously given to the California Central California Builders. So would you be, my ask is, I'm comfortable with this one if we move the post-retention wage up to $22.66 an hour, not $17 an hour.
We can do that. I just want to clarify that they're at this level from our recruiting efforts from the high schools, from the junior colleges and things. Those children will probably not have access to prevailing wage at that time. And then also we do have companies that are doing environmental remediation that are in the private sector that will not be prevailing wage work, but I'm okay with that.
Thank you. And generally speaking, children shouldn't be on construction sites.
I didn't mean children. I meant the
Yes,
graduates from those
I got you.
programs.
Thank you. With that said, I move a motion to approve the Kern County Builders Exchange Incorporated in an ETP funding amount of $197,074 with a post-retention wage minimum of $22.66.
Gretchen, quick
Yes.
question for you.
Yes, sir.
Currently on this agreement, they're showing no health benefits. Are we going to be adding in the $2.50 of health benefits on this as well?
They may be able to use up to $2.50.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll change the contract to that. Thank you.
And then just going forward for both yourself and the other one that was previously approved, when I see frontline construction worker, I really want to see actually the detail as to which trade we're talking about, because I can have a better understanding as to how that tradesperson or worker is going to advance themselves in their career by connecting with apprenticeship.
You got it. We can do that. Thank you.
Did I make a motion?
You
Second.
did make a motion. Second. Any public comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Next, we have tab 9, a proposal from Lie Brothers Corporation doing business as Sugar Bowl Bakery. They are a repeat contractor requesting $300,840 to train 269 workers, including 39 new employees. Training will take place at Lie Brothers location in Hayward. Here representing Lie Brothers to answer any questions are Michael Carter, Manager of Human Resources, Angela Jones, Consultant, Training Grants Intelligence, Inc.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Carter. I'm the HR manager over at Sugar Bowl Bakery. Thank you on behalf of the families over at Sugar Bowl Bakery, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions before I do? No, okay. So I have a couple of clarifying sort of statement here. In your, if you look at the purpose of what ETP is about, it's about employing people to ensure they have higher wages and retaining of employees. And it is not supposed to replace current annual training budgets.
Yes,
I see in your contracts, you state your current annual training budget is 40,000.
that's correct.
However, I have also seen you've come back and forth several times on contracts over the last few years. So can you help us understand how in the future this upskilling is going to help and not always on the reliance, I'm going to say, on the employment training funds, because it really is about upskilling those current or providing retrainees the higher wage jobs?
Of course. Well, first, let me address the $40,000 annual training. So that is specific to, and it's probably a lower figure, but that is actually to address required trainings that we are mandated to provide. So what we're asking for today would supplement that far beyond. We are a return, which we're very appreciative for. The first time that we were here, not physically, of course, but the first time we applied, that was during COVID. We're certainly back to get a greater reach for our employees and build that gap for further advancement for our families.
Okay, thank you. I just see you have these pieces, and I just wanted to make sure we're just being clear about what we're doing in that investment going forward in those wages. I mean, they're good wages with where you're going. It's just making sure that it's a continual, it's not just that supplement.
Of course. Thank you for that question.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, the other thing I was going to say is your turnover. It does worry me. Turnover sits at 13% when we look at, hey, purpose of funds. Is there something that's being done to help look at that turnover as we're investing, multiple times through a contract in retraining and upskilling workforce to, and I hope to retain? Are things being done to help with retention and turnover?
Sure. As you can imagine, it's my profession to reduce that. And so that's my personal mission to, of course, reduce turnover. I do have to pride ourselves or mention that most of our employees are legacy employees, being with the company for 29 plus years and have started with the original family. And it's really like one big family. I believe we are looking currently at new incentive programs. And I believe that this will definitely support what we hopefully achieve today.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Any other questions from the panel? Any public comments? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Light Brothers Corporation, DBA Sugar Bowl Bakery, ETP contract number ET 24-0169 in the amount of $300,840.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Panel members, please turn to tab 11, which is for North Point Healthcare and Wellness Center, LP DBA North Point Healthcare Center. They are a first-time contractor requesting $159,620 for 105 retrainees and 40 job creation trainees located in Fresno County. All trainees are located in HUA, and the contractor is requesting an HUA wage modification for jobs number 2 and 3. Present to answer any questions are Vivian Del Toro, Training Administrator, and Jill Musin, Consultant.
Good morning. My name is Vivian and I work for North Point Healthcare Center. Thank you for taking our application into consideration. This is really important to us. The funding would definitely help with our employment retention, recruitment. As Henry said earlier, COVID changed healthcare industry and it changed all of us. And so we're just trying to get back to where we once were before COVID and making this our new normal. So just thank you for taking this into consideration.
Thank you. Does the panel have questions? Do you want to start?
Willing to move the CNA wages up
So
for jobs 2 and 3?
So before, earlier this week, and it was after the 130 was printed, we had agreed to move jobs 2 to 20 and job 2 to 21 and job 3 to 20.
Thank you.
I was going to say a similar piece around your recruitment numbers are high when you look at your total number of employees. And turnover is fairly high as well. So I guess my question is, how are you retaining these team members when you're looking at, we're investing this? Wages obviously may play a part. I don't know if that's where your turnover is, but at 15% with 40 new hires, I'm just making sure you're going to be good with those numbers.
Since the application has dropped to about 8 to 10%, during COVID, it was a revolving door. It was really hard to keep people. So now we're doing better.
Understood. Thank you. Any further questions for the panel? Any public comment? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve North Point Healthcare and Wellness Center, DBA North Point Healthcare Center, in an ETP funding amount of $159,620.
Second.
Second, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who can't even get my words up now. All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going on to the agenda with the projects that were to be presented, starting with tab number 40, which is Alta Hospital Systems, LLC. They are a repeat contractor requesting $437,000 in funding for 295 retrainees and 120 job creation trainees located in LA County. Present to answer any questions are Keith Levy, Administrator, and Michelle Rickner, Consultant.
Ms. Chair and members of the panel, my name is Keith Levy, the Administrator at Los Angeles Community Hospital. Please allow me to thank Jella Romero from the North Hollywood Field Office for her valuable assistance in preparing the ETP proposal. Our previous project was during the pandemic, which changed the course of business for the entire healthcare system. We adjusted and made changes to maintain patient safety and care during that time. We're pleased to say we've maintained a 4-star CMS rating. This new ETP funding will allow us to provide critical medical skills and education to our employees, allowing us to address the current critical needs of our patients and staff. We'd like to point out that the application was originally submitted at the end of 2022. We have since made adjustments to the minimum wage of new entry level as well as experienced LVNs. LVNs across our facilities are hired at $24 per hour, so we're prepared to increase the LVN starting wage in job 2 from $17 to $24 an hour. Thank you for the panel for considering our proposal for funds, allow us to hire new employees and meet our growing patient needs. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
Ecstatic to hear that update.
Thank you. Any further questions from the panel? Any public comment? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the Alta Hospital System LLC in an ETP funding amount of $437,000 with that new wage modification of minimum for $24 an hour for the LVNs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Moving forward, tab 41 for portfolio. Sorry about that. Tab 41 has been withdrawn for a portfolio, so please move to tab 42, which is for Browning Contractors, Inc. They are a first-time contractor requesting $244,720 in funding for 216 retrainees and 40 job creation trainees located in Fresno County. Additionally, both job numbers are requesting an HUA wage modification. Present to answer any questions are May Wang, Jr., Controller, and Keith Brahma, Consultant.
Actually, both of those individuals had something come up where they couldn't be here. My name's Cynthia Cantu. I'm the operations manager for Browning Contractors. And this is Kamal Dablan. He's our safety manager and really great guy. Anyway, I have worked for Browning Contractors for the last 33 years. When I started, we had about 6 people. We now have about 220-ish. It kind of fluctuates a little bit. Post-pandemic, we have really struggled with retention. And so we've just been throwing every single thing you can imagine at this to try to solve this problem. What we've come up with, first and foremost, was we've had some progressive wage increases. In the beginning of 2019, our average wage was $24.32 an hour. Right now, we're at $28.06. Our field wage, starting wage is now at $19. We do have 2 employees who are at $17 an hour. Those employees are at $17 an hour because we basically open the door to people who have previously been incarcerated and maybe don't really have any job experience. So we put them in a position, we have a wash rack in our yard. They have maybe 3 to 6 months to come in, show up every day, be part of our team, really show that they're investing in us. And then we start migrating them into different positions out in the field. And what we have figured out is that if we open our doors to people who have had some kind of a past and we give them a second chance and we really invest in them, they have become some of our best employees. So we don't mind opening the door and really walking beside them in life. That could mean helping them with programs outside, finding housing for them, whatever. We'll invest and do that. And those are the people who are ending up staying. So that's how we're kind of controlling our employee retention issue. That's how we're kind of trying to come out of it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the panel?
I have a similar ask. I understand what you're saying with the $17 an hour, and it's very commendable to provide that second chance to those folks that have served their time and are seeking to better themselves. I've seen evidence that the number one way of retaining those people and making sure that they are successful in their new career paths is to assure them that they have a solid wage that they can rely on and provide for their families and themselves. So I would like, similar to what I've done with building exchange contracts, would like to see the wage modification request that you're requesting for the HUA, where, hold on, I'm scrolling, where it was originally $41.20 an hour, you requested it down to $17 an hour, landing at the minimum threshold of $22.66 an hour. And you can use healthcare benefits to meet that wage.
Okay, and you said that's $2.50 an hour?
That's correct, up to $2.50 an hour.
Okay.
You have to
that's
provide them
fine.
healthcare.
We have Blue Cross PPO, great health plan, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So, okay, thank you.
Okay, any further comments or questions from the panel? Any public comments? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve Browning Contractors, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $244,720 with a new post-retention wage of $22.66 an hour, minimum.
Thank you.
I heard a
With the
second.
healthcare component.
And I heard a second down here. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, panel members, up next is tab 43, which is for Fresno Skilled Nursing and Wellness Centers, LLC, DBA Healthcare Center of Fresno. They are a first-time contractor and requesting $336,260 in funding for 205 retrainees and 80 job creation trainees, all located in Fresno County. Additionally, job numbers 2 and 3 are requesting HUA wage modifications. Present to answer any questions is Leslie Beck, HR Manager, and Jill Musin, Consultant.
Good afternoon, and thank you for considering our proposal. Just as you heard a few moments ago, I'm in Fresno County as well. COVID definitely impacted our workforce. We have a very
Sorry, can we just move slightly closer to the mic?
better? Okay. We have a very diverse and multicultural workforce, and I'm very excited at the idea of being able to go back to the staffing patterns that we had prior to COVID and also offer job opportunities and advancement. So, but I also would like to point out that in looking at the wages prior to coming here today, we did not revise this to reflect that jobs number 2 would be at 21 and job number 3 at 20.
Thank you. Does any of the panel have questions? No. Any public comments? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the Fresno Skilled Nursing and Wellness Center, LLC, DBA Healthcare Center of Fresno in an ETP funding amount of $336,260 with those new higher wages stated.
Second, fantastic. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you so much.
Great. Moving on, you can skip over tab 44 for Peach Home Services, which has been withdrawn, and go to tab 45 for Woodward HRT Inc. They are a repeat contractor requesting $427,800 to train 310 retrainees located in LA County. A union support letter has been received by an International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. Present to answer any questions is Cecilia Cabrera, Operations Training Manager, and Michelle Rickner, Consultant.
Madam Chair and members of the panel, I am Cecilia Cabrera, Continuous Improvement and Training and Member Capability Manager for Woodward Inc. I'd like to thank Sina Turner from the North Hollywood Field Office for her valuable assistance in preparing the ETP proposal. ETP funding will allow us to provide extensive, critical new skills to our workforce to allow them to efficiently enable and support the design, development, launch, sale, and support our highly technical products that serves the aerospace and industrial market. I would like to thank the panel for considering this proposal, and I am happy to answer any question.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions? Is there any public on this proposal? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve Woodward HRT Inc. and an ETP funding amount of $427,800.
Thank you very much.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted. Thank you.
I'm going to recuse myself from the next consideration, please.
If you will please turn to tab number 46, AM Ortega Construction, Inc. This would be AM Ortega Construction's second ETP project and the second in the last 5 years. AM Ortega Construction is requesting $335,340 total ETP funding. They plan to train a total of 243 retrainees over 2 job numbers. AM Ortega Construction's headquarters is in Lakeside, California, with an additional location in Riverside County. This training project will build on the knowledge gained from the previous project and create an opportunity for the company to implement efficient business and construction processes. Training is needed to prepare employees to work more productively and in a cost-effective manner. AM Ortega Construction's prior project earned $325,445, which was 99% of their awarded funding amount. Here today representing AM Ortega Construction, ready to address questions from the panel, is Bruce Evanrund, Chief Financial Officer, and Bill Sachs, Consultant.
Good morning, panel. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. This is our second contract that we're requesting, and AM Ortega specializes in underground utilities. Our primary clients are utility companies such as San Diego Gas and Electric and SoCal Gas. Training of our staff and our field people is critical because we are dealing with dangerous conditions, especially when we're talking about electrical, underground, and gas. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have on our proposal today.
Are there any questions from the panel? Is there any public comment on this proposal? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve AM Ortega Construction, Inc., contract number ET 24-0180 in the amount of $335,340.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you,
Thank
panel.
you. We're going to have to take a moment because I think she ran to the restroom. Okay. So we've got one panel member about to recuse, the other one's got to come back in, but I think she ran to the restroom, so we won't have a quorum otherwise, will we? Correct.
We will not.
So we'll need to wait for Gretchen to return. Alrighty, I think we're good. Helen.
Thank you, panel members. If you will please turn to tab number 47, DPR Construction. This would be DPR Construction's second ETP project and the second in the last 5 years. DPR Construction is requesting $119,600 in total ETP funding. They plan to train a total of 260 retrainees in one job number. DPR Construction's headquarters is in Redwood City, California. The additional locations in San Diego, Los Angeles, Orange, Sacramento, San Francisco, and Santa Clara counties. This training project will focus on DPR Construction's Operation Business Practices Program, Situational Leadership Program, and the continuance of training related to virtual design and construction technology. DPR Construction's prior project earned $128,941, which was 35% of their awarded funding amount. Here today representing DPR Construction, ready to address questions from the panel is Carrie Williams, Global Social Responsibility Leader, and Michelle Rickner, Consultant.
Hello, Madam Chair and members of the panel, thank you. My name's Carrie Williams. I want to thank Paula Duarte and Kellen Hernandez, who were instrumental in helping us complete our application. DPR is focused on technical projects, mainly healthcare, biotech facilities, and data centers, advanced tech. And as such, we are always needing to be sort of on the cutting edge of those types of projects. I've been with DPR for 29 years. I was employee number 10 in San Diego, and we now have over 10,000 employees across the US and globally. We were really excited to receive our first ETP funding in March of 2020. I think the date was actually March 8th. I literally was on vacation. I came back to find out this thing called COVID had started. And therefore, we were not in a position to continue in-person training. And we're happy to say, I knock on wood, we're not in a pandemic and expect that we will be able to achieve 100% without any challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the panel?
Just wanted to state thank you for where you listed the occupation title of construction field staff. You then listed carpenters, plasters, painters, and drywallers. That's kind of the level of detail that I was looking for when I was mentioning the other two applicants. Thank you.
I had one, it's a small question. So as you look at, you had the proposal, you state that the training in this proposal will continue to train staff how to utilize the VDC software. And before it was about the operational responsibility and preparation in the prior contract. How's this training going to help retain or increase skills level and then ultimately wages based on this?
Great question. So we did in the last contract sort of roll out what we call VDC training for all of our employees. We're now looking at the sort of second and third tier where we're upskilling them from engineers to managers and now to executives.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments from the panel? Any public comment on this proposal?
Motion to approve DPR Construction, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $119,600.
Thank you. Did I hear a second? Yes. Mr. Hall. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted. Thank you. We can get it.
If you will please turn to tab number 48, Semper Energy DBA Southern California Gas Company. This will be SoCal Gas's fifth ETP project and the second in the last 5 years. SoCal Gas is requesting $400,200 in total ETP funding. They plan to train a total of 290 retrainees in one job number. SoCal Gas's headquarters is in Los Angeles, California, with locations across Southern California, but specifically Los Angeles and Kern counties. SoCal Gas is undergoing a digital transformation, rapidly adopting new and advanced software applications, the goal of improving productivity and safety for its workforce. This training project will focus on the training needed to adapt to these changes. SoCalGas's prior project earned $191,464, which was 100% of their awarded funding amount. Here today representing SoCalGas, ready to address questions from the panel, is Ron Christie, Capital Projects Outreach Manager.
Thank you for reviewing our proposal. Southern California Gas Company operates from the Mexican border to Visalia, numerous locations throughout Southern and Central California. We do training out of Pico Rivera, which is about 15 miles east of Los Angeles, and Bakersfield. We'll be developing another training center in San Bernardino at some point. We're facing a kind of a perfect storm for training in that we have workforce challenges created by very knowledgeable, experienced people retiring. And we also have a requirement of a 40-60 ratio of 60% employees to 40% contractors, which was negotiated with our union. Aging infrastructure, requiring a tremendous number of infrastructure projects, technological innovations that was alluded to a moment ago, and environmental initiatives, but things like hydrogen blending and AB 1371, which is it affects the emissions and how much we need to control them and that sort of thing. So we're focusing our training on a single job title, which is construction technician. Our previous contract, we focused on several different job titles, but this one, the greatest need is construction technicians, which is an entry-level position, but pays living wage and grows to substantial wages. And there's a career path. There's a number of different directions construction techs can go. In fact, many of our directors started out as construction techs at one point. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the panel?
And just to state that your construction technician's wage range is $35.72 an hour up to $51.57 an hour. Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the panel? Any public comment on this proposal? Is there a motion for approval?
Motion to approve Sempra Energy DBA Southern California Gas Company with an ETP funding amount of $400,200.
Thank you so much.
Right. Second over there. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Hello again, panel members. Let's turn to tab 49. This is a training proposal for Envoy Inc., DBA Envoy. They are a priority industry and a repeat contractor. Total ETP funding being requested today is for $499,790. That's to train an estimated number of trainees of 176 in job 1 retrainees with the priority rate and 25 under job 2 for job creation retrainees. ETP training will be delivered for its trainees at its headquarters in San Francisco. This will be Envoy's second ETP contract and its second in the last 5 years. And here today to answer any of your questions are Sergio Parada, Director FP&A, and Jill Manuson, Synergy Management Consultants, LLC.
Good morning, members of the panel. Thank you for having us here today and for considering our application. It is the second time we're applying. The first one was a few years ago when COVID hit. Our business is around bringing people back to the office, back to work, back to buildings. And as you can imagine, it has been a very evolving period of time since COVID to now. And so we spend part of this money to train our staff in everything that changes constantly. Our business has been changing every 6 months. So it's been a challenge.
Any questions from the panel?
More of a statement. I just want to commend you that for the 25 new hires that their wage ranges match those of the current existing employees. I really appreciate that you didn't try to lower their wages for hiring them and your wage ranges range between $43 an hour up to $100 an hour. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I have one question / statement. You're showing a 0 to 71 hours of computer-based training. And in the curriculum, most of those curriculums are showing about an hour, half hour training. They're not large chunks of training. What is more the average that most people get? Is it really up to 71 hours or is it a lower on the self-paced learning?
Hang on a second. We shouldn't have any computer-based training.
Or am I
This
looking
is
at the wrong
all
one?
Class lab training.
Yeah, this proposal does not include CBT.
Okay, I'm looking. Okay, maybe I've missed that. That's okay. All right. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve Envoy Inc. DBA Envoy and an ETP funding amount of $499,790.
Any public comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, panel members. Let's move to tab 50. This is a critical proposal for Lamb Research Corporation. They are a priority industry and a repeat contractor. Total ETP funding being requested today is for $749,800 for an estimated number of trainees of 350 under job 1 retraining at the priority rate and 145 under job number 2 job creation retrainees. As I mentioned, this has been designated as a critical proposal from GoBiz. The company is applying for creating helpful incentives to produce semiconductors, the CHIPS Act, funding to accelerate innovation, drive semiconductor technology advancements, and create good, high-paying jobs in California. ETP-funded training will be conducted at the company's facilities in Fremont and Livermore. This will be Lamb's 10th ETP contract and its 4th in the last 5 years. Here today to answer any of your questions are Verton Dehanian, I'm killing your last name, sorry. Dehanian, I believe, Director, Global Government Affairs, and Phil Herrera and Company.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the panel, and ETP staff. My name is Vartan Jehanian. I'm Director of Global Government Affairs at Lamb Research. As Chris Hoover described in his introduction, Lamb Research is headquartered in Fremont, California, and we're a global supplier of wafer fabrication equipment and services to the semiconductor industry. Our products are designed to help our customers build smaller, faster, and better performing chips that are used every day in electronics products, including mobile phones, personal computers, servers, wearables, automotive vehicles, and data storage devices. We support initiatives like the CHIPS Act, which is a federal law that aims to bolster domestic semiconductor manufacturing and research capabilities. By supporting this legislation, as well as Governor Newsom's own microelectronics industry initiatives through GoBiz, we'll strengthen our country's semiconductor industry, ensure its global competitiveness, protect our national security, and create good, high-paying jobs in the process. Finally, workforce training remains a high priority for Lamb Research now and in the future. There are exciting public-private partnership opportunities ahead for the industry to grow a skilled workforce. Whether it's through the CHIPS Act, apprenticeships, ETP, and others, the responsibility for creating highly skilled workforce remains with us. Here in California, ETP has been a catalyst to deliver more customized training to our employees in Fremont and Livermore. Our senior management team is pleased with the results of past ETP contracts and feel privileged to partner with the state of California to develop our employees. Thank you so much for hearing our proposal today. I want to give a special thanks to Robert Meyer, as well as to the entire GoBiz team and our consultant, Phil Herrera, for all his support. Thank you again, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
All right, does the panel have any questions?
Just a question for job creation, job number 2, and for the engineers coming on board with a wage range of $35 to $50 an hour. How soon would they be able to progress themselves to the wages stated under job number 1, $40 to $60 an hour?
Defer to Phil on that one.
Yeah, that one, I don't have that data.
Okay.
What I find in these companies, the advanced manufacturers, that most of them are at that higher range already.
Yeah.
When we try to capture all of the potential enrollees, we have it.
Okay.
I can get back to you what percentage of those are at the higher range. I think I'd like to do that anyway.
Okay. So shared intention to progress them to the higher wages with this training.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so I was scrolling on a page before, the packet before, I think, thinking I was on this one. My apologies. So my question here is around your CBT. You say it's 0 to 71 hours. Most of those CBT curriculums are a kind of a 2 hour, 3 hour maybe. What is the real average of CBT? Or are we really putting people in front of 71 hours of computer-based training out of their total hours?
Great question. And it begs the question about, how we track it in an LMS and some of the vendors they use. So a lot of this is, the LinkedIn Learning courses. Some of them are built on their own platform, but I would see it as between 1 hour and 4 hours is what the total is. And then what we do with staff is we break out those module titles, put them in a sort of like a course crosswalk so that the auditor can actually match it back to the curriculum. But it's a great question. I think the panel should think about how we present this in the application going forward. And I'd be willing to offer my help with that.
Yeah, but I think you hit something very clear there, Phil, of how a lot of this training is delivered, that you can very much fast track. And are we paying truly for someone to fast track versus actually sit for that 4 hours of training versus maybe dragging some training I know has it locked in, many does not. And that's why I was just asking, are we really looking at 72 hours of computer-based training? In that way. Thank you. Any further comments, questions from the panel? Any public comment on this proposal? Hear a motion?
Motion to approve Lamb Research Corporation and ETP funding amount of $749,800.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to thank Samantha Wang, especially Chris Hoover and Poonam at GoBiz. So great job.
Thank you, Phil. Let's move to tab 51. And thank you, panel, for that last proposal. This is a training proposal for NVIDIA Corporation. This is a priority industry and it is not a repeat contract or a first timer. Total ETP funding being requested today is for $483,000. That's to train an estimated number of trainees of 1,000 under job one, retrainees at the priority rate. ETP funded training will be delivered at all of its California locations in Santa Clara, San Jose, Palo Alto, Sunnyvale, and San Dimas. This will be NVIDIA's first ETP contract, like I mentioned earlier. And here today to answer your questions are Jess Ramos, Senior Manager for Learning Platforms and Operations, and Michelle Reichner of TFP.
Madam Chair and members of the panel, my name is Jess Ramos. As Chris mentioned, I am the Senior Manager for our learning platforms and operations at NVIDIA. First, I do want to thank Angela, Nimra, and Chris from the ETP San Francisco field office for helping us with this proposal. We were also excited to hear that ETP staff was able to tour our facility in May and observe the work that we do. And we are happy to hear that Robert Mayer did not touch any of our vital equipment. This funding will help NVIDIA continue to design and deliver groundbreaking solutions for our customers to stay current with technology and product needs. Additionally, NVIDIA invests significantly in research and development, focusing on areas such as deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, and autonomous systems. By continuing to drive advancements in AI technologies, NVIDIA can contribute to the overall progress and capabilities of the AI field, aligning with the goals of the CHIPS Act to promote technological innovation and competitiveness. Again, I want to thank the panel for considering our proposal and look forward to the opportunity to partner with ETP to bring critical new skills to our frontline workforce. I'd be pleased to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Does the panel have questions?
I do. So your wages are generally higher. Great. Thank you very much. But your wage range is very wide. So specifically pertaining to the engineering / product development staff with the wage range from $26.78 an hour up to $100 an hour. Can you describe and elaborate for me approximately how many of those 600 people are in the lower wage versus middle of the road versus the higher wage, and how do they progress themselves in their wages?
Absolutely. So we did provide here a range. Most of our employees are in the higher end of these ranges. We do know that working in the technology field that we are in, we have very highly skilled employees that as they come into these roles, we do train them to help them get into sort of that next level or higher level to continue to meet the demands of really the ever-changing landscape of technology.
Okay, so approximately how many of the 600 are earning only 26.78 an hour?
Hi there, Michelle Rickner, Training Funding Partners. I would say, I don't have the specifics, but I think probably 70% are up in the higher end. I would say out of the 600, maybe 100 are at the lower end. And again, that wage that we're talking about is really, could be their starting wage. Once they get through retention, through the contract, they could be making the mid to higher range as well.
Okay, so they can expect to see their
Absolutely.
wages increase immediately. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm back on computer-based training here. You have a weighted average of 21 hours within the contract. In your statement of computer-based training, you're saying there'll be between 0 to 60 hours. What are we really looking at if we're being real about the average hours of computer-based training per role?
We see about 11 hours on average per person.
Okay. Are there roles that actually hit the 60 hours, or is that?
We do see a number of people who also hit that number.
And what type of roles are those that are hitting truly 60 hours of computer-based training?
We have some most of our workforce being in engineering hit some of that. We do know that a good number of our employees are able to hit that amount.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions from the panel? Any public comment on this proposal?
Motion to approve NVIDIA Corporation contract number ET 24-0127, the amount of $483,000.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is passed.
Thank you.
We're moving on.
Thank you, panel members. Let's turn to tab 52. There is a correction for this. The CBT courses have been withdrawn. This is a training proposal for Norman S. Wright Mechanical Equipment Corporation. This is a priority industry and it's not a repeat contractor. Total ETP funding being requested today is for $300,150 for an estimated number of trainees of 237 under Job 1 set retrainees and 20 under Job 2 set job creation retrainees. ETP funded training will be delivered at NSW's Hayward and Rancho Cordova locations. This will be NSW's first ETP contract, as I mentioned earlier. And here today to answer your questions are Rich Leo, CEO and President, and Angela Gisson, CFO, and Barry Menzel, TFS.
Thank you. Thank you for the panel's consideration. Our company was founded in 1906, and we mainly operate in the HVAC arena. And with the latest California mandate for electrification and decarbonization, we have pivoted to a lot of new products for our industry, getting away from gas, which entails us having to train out people on all these new products and then in turn train the customers we're dealing with, including things like doing startup on this new equipment, doing service on it. So that's what we're growing with. I just came back from a meeting in Houston yesterday, and the key thing is to grow our service startup divisions, understanding that it's really difficult to find people out there, so we have to train them from within. So thank you again.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
So you're requesting a wage modification, and you're likely to receive it for job number 1 from $41.20 down to $30.90 an hour. But then under job creation, job number 2, for the technicians, your wage ranges between $18 an hour to $20 an hour for one subset, and $20 to $25 for another, and $25 to $40 for the final set. I'd really like to see those 4 for the job creation move up to the $20.01 to $25 an hour. Is that fine?
Understood.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the panel? Any public comments? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the Norman S. Wright Mechanical Equipment Corporation and ETP funding amount of $300,150 with under job number 2 for technicians, the minimum wage presiding at $20.01.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, panel members. Let's turn to tab 53. There is a correction on this as well to the number of employees listed under the US, and as it should read 15,400. This is a training proposal for WellPath Management, Inc. They are a priority industry and a repeat contractor. Total ETP funding being requested today is for 483,000. And that's to train an estimated number of trainees of 1,200 under job 1, priority rate, medical skills training, and 300 under job 2, which is job creation, medical skills. Training will be provided at its Alpine facility and at work sites, county jails, and detention facilities statewide. This will be WellPath's second ETP contract, and it's second in the last 5 years. And here today to answer any of your questions are Robin Jarvis, Senior Director, Organizational Development and DEI, and Barry Menzel of TFS.
Good morning, panel. I'm Robin Jarvis, Senior Director of Organizational Development and DEI at WellPath, and I am delighted to be here to talk with you today. I would first like to thank Chris Hoover for all of his help in preparing our application, and I am very open to receiving any questions you might have.
Thank you. Does the panel have questions?
I am very thankful that your job creation wages match your retraining wages. Thank you. For nurses.
Nursing is a very tight market right now.
I have a couple of questions. So we look at the previous contract performance, and I know we have right-sized based on the prior performance of 68%. When I look at your numbers, I'm not going to say I'm concerned, but you are looking at 300 new hires, and then you are looking at over 1,200 employees at 10 hours apiece. My recommendation potentially is to look at the size of that prize of your retrainees and think about, should I be looking at 10 hours or should I look at larger population hours to help for better success? Reading what happened last time, that sounds a bit like what happened. I would just recommend you look at that going into the application and throughout the period of this contract. Think about how you can, I'm going to say, take for the larger number of hours rather than trying to get through 1,200 10-hour trainings. The paperwork, the administration, success side of it, many successful contracts really aim for those larger populations of hours rather than trying to do every single employee in that way.
Understood. I just would like to add that shortly after we were awarded the first contract, we actually became WellPath. We were merged with another company. And so there were those extenuating circumstances of the merger. And then, of course, COVID hit. So given staff shortages, et cetera, it was difficult to meet the performance criteria of the contract, but we are very confident we can do so this time.
Okay, fantastic. We look forward to the success. Any other questions from the panel?
Motion to approve WellPath Management, Inc. and an ETP funding amount of $483,000.
Thank you. Any comment from the public on this proposal? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you.
I think this is the one I have to step away. This is me. Okay, this one? Yeah.
Who do you
And
want
we
to
just
present?
lost one, so I will wait till he comes back, but I do have to recuse myself.
Who do you want to preside?
Rick, Gretchen, who wants to preside? Come on, come on. I'm letting you two decide. Okay, fine. Yeah, I guess once Chris gets back, you guys can.
Okay, for the record, Chair Betancourt has recused herself from the Gallo Glass Company consideration. Staff, please proceed.
Alrighty, thank you. Next, we have tab 54, a proposal from Gallo Glass Company. They are a first-time contractor requesting $499,790 to train 530 workers. Training will take place at Gallo Glass's headquarters in Modesto. Here representing Gallo Glass to answer any questions are Nate Ellsworth, Manager of Operations, Industrial Training and Education, and Nathan Daly, Consultant, CMTA.
Thank you, Phil. Good morning. My name is Nathan Ellsworth, and I'd first like to express my gratitude and thanks to the ETP panel, the ETP staff, as well as CMTA for your support and for reviewing our application in consideration for funding. As one of our largest employees in our rural area, we are a company of 750 employees with a strong union workforce representing 85% of our employee population from the United Steelworkers Local 17M and Local 18. We're out of Modesto, California, and we pride ourselves on putting our people first. And we anticipate using these funds to educate newly hired production workers, upskill current employees, and develop them to their greatest potential and efficiencies, and to also show a commitment to their personal and professional growth and development. Additionally, we are making improvements in our training curricula and our organization in the pursuit of state and federal apprenticeship certification programs across 5 different departments. Of our 29 departments across the plant, together we support the production of more than 2 million glass bottles daily in the support of the wine and spirits industry. Our training curricula is vital to the environmental sustainability of recycled glass, the advancement of our workforce, and the improvement of their knowledge, skills, and abilities in the manufacturing industry. By building strong relationships between our departments and promoting the efficacy of training, we can accomplish so much as a team. But with your support in the ETP funds, we will be able to accomplish so much more. Thank you for your time and consideration in supporting the Gallo Glass Company and the training of our employees. I'm pleased to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does panel members, do you have any questions? Any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Motion to approve Gallo Glass Company contract number ET 24-0170 in the amount of $499,790.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you.
So much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, panel. Next, we have tab 55, a proposal from Hall Ambulance Services, Inc. They are a repeat contractor requesting $441,600 to train 120 workers. Training will take place at Hall Ambulance's 16 locations in Kern County. Here representing Hall Ambulance to answer any questions are Myron Smith, Vice President, Larry Mandel, Consultant, Training Refund Group.
Good afternoon, panel. Myron Smith, Vice President, Hall Ambulance Service. Thank you for hearing and considering our application. Thank you to the ETP staff for their help in preparing the application. Hall Ambulance has been providing 911 service to Kern County since 1971. We're the paramedic and EMT provider for over 90% of Kern County. We're here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
I do. I have concerns about the low wages stated for the EMTs. Have those wages progressed or increased since you submitted your application? It's stated for EMTs that the first wage range is $16.24 an hour up to $20 an hour for 60 of the trainees. And then a second wage range is $20 and a penny up to $25 an hour for 40 trainees.
Once they obtain their EMT training, they are on their own. They start at a rate of $21.07, I believe is what it is.
So your starting wage
And
for
that
the
does not
EMTs
include
is
benefits.
$21 an hour?
Yes.
Okay.
That is after they complete their training.
Correct.
And what are they starting? Are they really starting at $16.24 an hour at the time of their starting the training?
During training, and we pay for their tuition, their books, and the hours that they are in class.
Is there, I mean, it's just abysmal to $16.24 an hour for an EMT. Can you move that up? The
For-
others, the
for
others
classroom
stated.
portion?
I'm sorry?
You're talking only for the classroom portion. Because we,
Well, they're employed while they're receiving the training, correct?
By the time they finish the program, though, they're at $21 an hour.
Correct.
It's a substantial increase from their starting wage.
Okay, so staff, the post-retention wage needs to be not $17 an hour, but $21 an hour. Okay. I get a little frustrated, Mr. Mandel, because the other applicants that have listed EMTs for their proposals have starting wages while they're receiving the training, starting at $20 an hour, not 16 an hour. So that's my concern there is I really want to see the wage, the initial wage for these EMTs to be starting at 20 an hour, emergency medical technicians. So, but I get what you're saying. Scrolling, how long does it take them to complete the training?
16 weeks.
4 months.
And that is classroom, on the job training, certified.
Okay.
Which I see you see a 15% turnover as well. Is this within the EMT roles, paramedics? Is it between one or the other? Because I think this is going to where
Company-wide.
company-wide.
EMTs, paramedics, billers, dispatchers, maintenance staff.
Just a quick clarification. Are these full-time employees when they start at 1624?
Correct.
So they're learning and earning and they're performing too.
They initially are not performing until they certified as EMTs.
But what on the job training, isn't that performing?
Yes.
I think we need a little bit more elaboration as to how that is occurring. If they're not employed as EMTs, they're receiving training to become EMTs. So they're
Correct.
not receiving on-the-job training because they're stuck in a classroom, not
They
earning.
have to go through the classroom before they can go to on-the-job training.
And that's 4 months.
And then they're in shadow with the field preceptor.
What are they earning while they're in the classroom?
The 16.
And then when they go to OJT, are they still earning the 16 or are they seeing the increase in the wage?
They see the increase in the wage once they pass national registry exam, then they automatically move to the 2107.
Okay.
Which is, they pass that exam before they go on an ambulance. So they pass that exam within the first 8 weeks.
Okay. Are you seeing a high threshold of them passing the exam? What percentage approximately?
Our last class was 14 and all 14 passed on the first attempt. And we have over a 90% first time pass rate.
Okay.
I think there's two sides here. I think we're seeing the last contract we're seeing, we continuously experience a shortage. So when we look at truly what the root of ETP is about, which is allowing people to provide those skills, get those higher paid wages, but also to retain their employees through providing higher track wages. I'm not sure I'm seeing a clarity of like, we're keeping these people. We look like we're doing the same thing again in the, I'm going to say this, we're in the washing machine cycle. We're going round and round and round
Tends to be the case in the industry.
Yeah, and I think
California Ambulance Association recently stated that there's 7,000 short first responders in California and 20,000 in the US. And I know the California Ambulance Association is currently working on a Medi-Cal increase that hasn't been increased in over 20 years to assist with the retention and to attract talent to employment.
And I think what, and I fully appreciate that, but I think what Panorama Nuisance is trying to point towards is potentially are some of these turnovers regrettable turnover because they could, once they get the certification, step out and go somewhere else where they are being paid higher. And we're seeing this just happens to come at the same time as healthcare proposals where we're seeing these higher wages. And I think as we look at this, there is a, I'm going to say an uncomfortableness based on those wages and that we're seeing we're doing the same thing again and again with that same contract dollars going forward. I don't know if that's summing it up in a.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty nicely. I would be more comfortable with this proposal. I mean, this is a repeat contractor. Moving the wage range for the first segment listed for EMT from $16.24 an hour up to a minimum of $18 an hour to 20, and with the post-retention wage being stated at $21 an hour.
If it was 4 months. Yeah.
Is that possible?
That's possible.
Okay. The only other question I had, and it kind of links to wages, it links to turnover. I look at prior performance. It's always a good one to say, like, how have people done in the past? And I see that one from 18 to 20, which was a 71% completion. It's cited that some of the reasons around that were not being able to get trainers. The company lost trainers. When I read your proposal, it talks a lot about the trainers potentially. It reads that they are potentially paramedics or people within the team. Are you seeing turnover on those trainers as well? Will that hinder performance, or are you comfortable your
No, we're
trainers are not
comfortable
turning
where
over?
we're at now.
Okay.
We went back and evaluated what the pay was and the stipends were for the trainers, increased that. And that is, we've not had a problem in a couple of years with that.
Okay, fantastic. Any further questions from the panel? Any public comment on this proposal?
Motion to approve the Hall Ambulance Services, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $441,600 with the revised wage range for EMTs, starting at a minimum of $18 an hour to $20 an hour for 60 of those trainees, and a revised post-retention wage to $21 an hour.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, panel. Next, we have tab 56, a proposal from Person Centered Services, Inc. They are a repeat contractor requesting $100,045 to train 130 workers, including 27 new employees. Training will take place at Person Centered Services 5 locations in Stockton, Lodi, and Lockford. Here representing Person Centered Services to answer any questions is Denise Lane, Human Resources Director.
Hi, and hello. First of all, I wanted to thank the panel for asking us to present today. Our current proposal is kind of addressing the needs that have happened our last contract, and that is with COVID, the business model changed, and with that brought new staff and many people who didn't have a lot of years of experience in the business. And so what we've found is we have to kind of retrain back to values, what we're about, because we're a service organization and we work with individuals with developmental intellectual disabilities. And so they have to have those values so that they make good choices when they're working with people. And so that's kind of what our focus is right now. And it's on bringing in-house training to these people so that there's people on site with them to train them as they go, throughout the day and model and that for their work. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the panel?
Have your wages increased at all since you last submitted?
I didn't hear you.
Have your wages increased at all since you last
Yes,
submitted your?
was written. Our starting wage is 18.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions from the panel? You good? Do we have any public comment? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve Person Centered Services, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $100,045 with a post-retention wage revised to $18 an hour.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, panel. Next, we have tab 57, a proposal from Shasta Builders Exchange. They are a repeat contractor requesting $462,480 to train 458 trainees, including 133 new employees. Training will take place at Shasta Builders location in Reading and at the participating employers' work sites in Shasta, Glen, Tehama, Siskiyou, Lassen, Del Norte, Humboldt, Butte, Plumas, Modoc, and Trinity counties. Here representing Shasta Builders to answer any questions are Chad Scott, Executive Director, Beth Brockman, Financial Director.
Good morning. I'd like to amend that. Beth was unable to come to attend this morning's meeting. My name's Chad. I'm the Executive Director of the Shasta Builders Exchange. Thank you, panel, for the opportunity to present our program. As Phil mentioned, we are a returning contractor. We had a great success with our first contract, and we look to increase that success and highlight some of the opportunities in the trades for the North State, starting about Orland, up to the Oregon border.
Does anyone have questions?
I can guess several of those questions.
Do you want to go?
The first one is the obvious one where we have some high-level job descriptions where we could capture many trades. And I think, I would of course agree to the same request you made of the other construction related industries, that we highlight some specific trades in those fields. And
So talk to me a little bit more. You say that you've been successful since the last one. You're coming back around for a greater amount of funding.
Correct.
Talk to me about the success of the actual trainee / construction worker and what you are doing to get them on the path to apprenticeship so that they can become a journey level, whatever in their trade.
Correct. My biggest interest is to see these men and women achieve a livable or living wage in the trades, and there's no reason they shouldn't. I feel like apprenticeships are not accessible in many areas of that far northern region. I do work. I ensure that on my board we always have signatories to the union in participation for any program that I propose under our organization's umbrella. And I don't know. Several of the programs that I run is I'll assist even some of our union pre-apprentice workshops of this summer for training to provide pathways to apprenticeships. But that still requires that they're hired and sponsored by employers by improving these skills. And then setting an expectation for a wage and the kind of training and work environment. I think that sets a good precedence and direction for these men and women to pursue an apprenticeship.
So it seems like this is much more of like a pre-apprenticeship kind of model, and then you're feeding them hopefully into an apprenticeship program. Union versus
my hope is to see them, pursue a career, not just funding part-time jobs.
Okay. So you're requesting a wage modification for the set SHUA down to $22.66 an hour, and then you're using the healthcare. So you're not going lower than that. So you are different than the other two that I spoke about previously. So
My
thank you
goal
for
is
that.
to highlight those employers who invest in their workforce.
Thank you. I appreciate that. If you come back to us again, my expectation is that you will provide a more robust narrative on how you are invigorating that path to apprenticeship and quality construction careers.
When I return, I'll deliver that.
Yes, thank you.
I have one other question, and it's my curiosity. You read about the fact that in your narrative, you talk about that training vendors will be utilized. And then you have a list that says training vendors to be determined. Are you able to update that with the training vendors, as it's called out very clearly that you are using training vendors? So could we ask for that to be updated with the vendors that you will be using?
Yes, in many cases, we know that in some of those counties, because of the 3 or 4 hour drive, I sometimes have to coordinate with those employers.
It's just nice to have that list of vendors, so we have it.
Of course,
Thank
I
you.
understand that.
Any further questions from the panel? Do I hear a motion?
Scrolling.
You're scrolling. Anyone else there? No, Rick's like closing up here.
Motion to approve Shasta Builders Exchange in an ETP funding amount of $462,480.
Second.
Okay, any public comment on this proposal? All right, all those in favor say aye. All right, all those who oppose say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we're now coming to the end part of this meeting. So I have a question for all our panel members here. Are there any requested agenda items for our future panel meetings? I am hearing crickets. Now we're turning to the public. Is there any public comments? Any member of the public that would like to address the panel on issues not scheduled on today's agenda? And we cannot act on these issues today. However, we are able to refer these matters to staff for review and possible future panel action. Do we have any public comment? I'm going to ask anything online, but it's been quiet online, hasn't it?
Nothing online at this time.
Thank you. So it comes to that important time. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is adopted. We are bringing this meeting to a close at 11:57, 3 minutes.